Hello and welcome to this March 17th, 2010 video version of Invested Central's Chart of the Day. I'm Tom Boley, Invested Central's Chief Market Strategist, and it's my pleasure to provide you with today's Chart of the Day. This Chart of the Day is brought to you by StockCharts.com, simply the web's best financial charts. Well, today we are featuring Kongzong Corp, ticker symbol KONG. This is about a $265 million services company in the People's Republic of China. I do want to mention that this company reported on Tuesday evening after the market closed, so it could be a volatile session. I believe it was up after hours a few percent, but it could be a volatile session on Wednesday, so you may want to kind of hang back and just kind of hold off on doing anything with this one for a while. But I did want to point out some technical indications that I thought were worth mentioning. The stock's been under a lot of pressure to the downside, and you can see throughout 2010 it has been almost a ski slope down every day. Just about we've seen action to the downside. Outside of yesterday, probably the biggest bullish candle of the year was the first day of February, and you can see this big reversal here on some pretty good volume, but it didn't last. One of the problems back then, in my opinion, was you had a MACD that was pointing straight down at the time. So off of that, generally we don't see a lot of strength. Many times those types of move to the upside might go up to the 20-day moving average, and that's generally about as far as they get before turning back down. In this case, KONG barely rose at all. Had that one reversing day and then back down it went. Now it is a little different currently because on these last three lows that you can see here in early February, again in late February, and then again just recently these last couple of trading days, you can see with these lower lows that we actually have a MACD that's turned up. So at least the momentum appears to be changing and turning a little bit more in the direction of the bulls. So today's reversal, I think, comes at a time when it could be sustained and we could see a little bit more movement to the upside. Now if we can get through the 20-day moving average, which is sitting at right now at 797, then I think the stock looks like it could run up to test the 50-day moving average, which is declining. And you can also see this reaction high back on that big February reversing day, and on that volume you can see that there's going to be some resistance up around the 915, 920 area, and with this declining 50-day moving average, it all may converge right there at that same general area, just a little bit above the $9 level. So from a near-term perspective, I think the stock's looking a little bit better. This is still a stock that's very broken in the longer term or more intermediate term, so it's not one that I would necessarily think about buying and just putting away. But in the near term, it looks like it could run and possibly get up to that 915, 920 area based on the positive divergence. We did like to see the volume coming in on Tuesday. Volume picked up on this reversing candle, and that was after it looked like we were on the verge of another breakdown. So it was a nice reversal. And like I said, earnings came out after the close, so that's going to be worth keeping an eye on. The stock also is bouncing off of some oversold conditions. You can see both the RSI and stochastics have spent quite a bit of time recently in oversold territory. So again, not too surprising that the stock might see a little bit of near-term bounce. So to the downside, watch maybe 730 or so on a closing basis, 735, somewhere in that neighborhood. And then these three recent lows all came in on an intraday basis between about 715 and 725. So that's going to be a stop area as far as I'm concerned. You really don't want to ride this stock much down below those levels. And to the upside, as I mentioned earlier, maybe around the 920 level is what I'd look for. I hope you've enjoyed our presentation today. Be sure to check out our chart of the day every day at investedcentral.com. While you're there, sign up for our free weekly Market Pulse newsletter and have the chart of the day emailed directly to you. Happy trading.